We've seen quite a bit of rain over this part of the country over the past few weeks, so it's not going to take much. Those trees, the root systems are weakened, and the ground is soggy, so those trees could easily come down. Here in western North Carolina, really the northwestern part of the state, Stokes, Surry, and Yadkin counties are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're looking at areas west of I-73, east of 77. Strong winds possible there. Here, Alamance, Guilford, and Randolph counties, a line of heavy rain from areas to the northeast of Asheboro over towards Durham, and now north of Raleigh, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning. Franklin and Wake counties here until 6 o'clock local time. So we'll watch that heavy rain continue to move across the region. You know, this corridor from Durham and Raleigh, slow on a good day. So with the rain showers moving through, it's going to really be slowing things down on this Wednesday evening, Chris.
All right, let's fast forward and show you what we're expecting as we go into this evening. You can get an idea. 5 p.m., all those storms, as Alex was mentioning, here across the southern Appalachians, and then they're going to work their way closer to the I-95 corridor. D.C. certainly seeing the storms around the vicinity. It'll be a little scattered, but more of a line developing here in eastern North Carolina. Also, a lot of activity from New York over to Bridgeport, Hartford, Connecticut, Providence, Boston, even Portland, Maine. Things do quiet down overnight. By tomorrow, much better, also much cooler, but still, we have to get through a risk of severe weather stretching from interior portions of New England all the way back down the spine of the Appalachians into portions of northern Georgia, even the Atlanta metro area. And these thunderstorms can produce flooding. With more on the flood threat, let's go over to Dr. Rick Knabb.
Yeah, Chris, we have a number of areas to be concerned about, and it's going to be a wet few days as this frontal system moves south. Right now, the biggest areas of concern would be up in New York State and in Arkansas because of low pressure areas moving along that frontal boundary, providing some focus for that tropical moisture along that front. And we've got lightning and thunderstorms all over the place, but the areas at greatest risk for flash flooding over the next few hours are going to be here in central New York, and it's already caused flash flooding south of Albany along I-87. They still have a warning there in effect in Columbia, Greene, and Ulster counties until 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Careful if you're getting off the interstate, getting into some low-lying roads there. West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, another trouble spot tonight. Already have a flash flood warning south of London, Kentucky along I-75. And then here in Arkansas, wow, look at all of these slow-moving, heavy thunderstorms. We told you Arkansas was going to be a place we'd see a flash flood warning, and now we do. Just west of Little Rock, this flash flood warning in effect in Faulkner and Pulaski counties until 6:15 p.m. Central Time. And I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes the case for Little Rock proper and even areas to the south and west as this heavy band of thunderstorms moves through. And that'll be the case tomorrow, too, Alex. Little Rock and then DFW getting in on the mix for the possibility for flash flooding tomorrow and tomorrow night.
All right, so Southern Plains, an area to watch on Thursday. Dr. Knabb, thanks. Coming up on Weather Underground, multiple people seriously injured by lightning last night. This as thunderstorms rolled through New York City, including 2 people on this field. Hear from eyewitness who saw it happen. Plus, just how big is the largest fire in California's history? You might be surprised when we compare it to a well-known East Coast city. And send us your questions. Use the hashtag WUTV.
I woke up in Memphis and told people about Geico. How they could save 15% or more by just calling or going online to geico.com. Sorry, are you gonna... Every time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I don't keep track of regrets, and I don't add up the years. But what I do count on is Boost.
Delicious Boost high-protein nutritional drink now has 33% more protein, along with 26 essential vitamins and minerals. Boost High Protein. Be up for life.
Metastatic breast cancer is relentless, but I'm relentless too.
MBC doesn't take a day off, and neither will I.
And I treat my MBC with new everyday Verzenio, the only one of its kind that can be taken every day.
In fact, Verzenio is a CDK4 and 6 inhibitor for postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC, approved with hormonal therapy as an everyday treatment for a relentless disease. Verzenio plus an AI is proven to help women have significantly more time without disease progression, and more than half of women saw their tumors shrink versus an AI. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, and may cause dehydration or infection. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Serious liver problems can occur. Symptoms may include tiredness, loss of appetite, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising more easily than normal. Blood clots that can lead to death have also occurred. Talk to your doctor right away if you notice pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, or rapid breathing or heart rate. Tell your doctor if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include nausea, infections, low red and white blood cells and platelets, decreased appetite, headache, abdominal pain, tiredness, vomiting, and hair thinning or loss.
I'm relentless, and my doctor and I choose to treat my MBC with Verzenio.
Be relentless. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
How do you know you made the right call? You just do. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier.
It's strange, but I don't need space from you. And every single thing you do, it feels nice.
Introducing the first ever Nissan Kicks.
Then I saw you.
Okay, we need to get all your school supplies today.
School, grade, done.
Done. Hit the snooze button and get low prices on school supplies all summer long, like these for only $1 or less at Office Depot Office Max.
All right, 3 people are in the hospital after being struck by lightning. 2 of the men were playing soccer in Queens, New York when storms rolled in. Witnesses say that's when they were hit.
A big thunder just hit, and I turn around, and then you just see 2 guys laying on the floor.
And according to police, one of them is in critical condition. A 3rd person was also struck in a different location about 4 miles away. He was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening conditions. And we have another round of severe storms. And regardless on whether we see severe warned storms or not, thunder and lightning is still going to be a big factor across much of the East Coast. We'll start off here in North Carolina, where half the state seems like it's lit up in orange or that yellow color. That means severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms not only producing lightning and very heavy rain, but also gusty winds and the factor that we could see some hail, especially north of Raleigh. This is for Franklin and Wake counties. If you live around Leesville, Neuse, and Wake Forest, until 6 p.m., you're going to want to head indoors. So get off the sports fields, the soccer fields, the football fields, head inside. These storms will move through, and then you can go back out and enjoy yourself. Here into portions a little further off towards the west. This is for Graham and Melville in North Carolina, south of Interstate 40. That's where we're seeing some of the stronger storms, so head indoors immediately. And again, now's the time to get inside here north of Winston-Salem. Another busy day. We had storms yesterday. This storm's working closer into the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area, so we'll continue to watch this for a lot of lightning, also some very gusty winds. And also south of Winston-Salem, we have a storm that does look to be a weakening, but still producing some very heavy rain. Still some lingering lightning there south of Interstate 40.
Well, breaking news now out of California. A man is in custody in connection with a 4,000-acre wildfire in California. The Holy Fire began Monday. It's now burning 4,100 acres in the Cleveland National Forest. The Orange County Fire Authority held a press conference moments ago with an update.
This is a monster. Who would go out with low humidity and high wind and the highest heat temperatures this time of the year and intentionally set the forest on fire? I suppose if your name has forest in it, maybe that's not relevant to you. The irony here is not lost on me that his name is Forrest Gordon Clark, but he's literally destroyed our forest.
Now that holy fire continues to burn, continues to threaten structures. Joining us now is storm tracker Will Wilkins. He lives at the area at risk from this fire. You know, we just heard from that press conference they had about this person who went out and, knowing all the factors were in place for dangerous fire conditions, still lit that fire. What is your reaction? You live in this area.
Well, my reaction is pretty I don't know. I don't have any words to it. It's pretty incredible. We're losing a lot of land. We're losing a lot of forests, and our community is completely threatened.
And Will, how close are you to this wildfire where you're at?
Well, straight line as the crow flies, about 2 miles to the flames. But due to the size of the community, the southern end of the community is about 1 mile from the flames.
And have you been asked to evacuate?
Yes, the evacuation order came at 2 p.m., about 40 minutes ago.
All right, so you live in this area. Obviously, wildfires aren't necessarily unusual in California, but to have one so close, is that unusual for you, for your community?
Yeah, I've lived here 15 years, and I've never seen a fire of this magnitude the whole time I've lived here. As a matter of fact, there was a fire in 2004 that was relatively close, but we were not threatened. The last I heard is that it's been about 50 to 80 years that this area has burned.
And Will, have you done anything around your home to make your property fireproof at all?
Unfortunately, there isn't much that I can do. I do have some easement on the backside of my property, but there is relatively enough space to protect the property. But if there's any embers, that might not mean it.
Yeah, well, Will Wilkins, we thank you for joining us. We wish you the absolute best. Thanks for taking the time and speaking to us tonight. I want to talk about the other fire making national headlines in California, the Mendocino Complex fire burning about 100 miles north of San Francisco.
And to date, the fire has burned more than 290,000 acres and destroyed over 100 homes. It is the largest wildfire in California state history. So let's kind of do a little comparison just to how big this fire is. And a lot of people are familiar with New York City. That's typically a point of reference that people can grasp in their mind. So take a look at how this fire compares, where the New York City 5 boroughs, about 200,000 acres or so. This wildfire now approaching over 300,000 acres, which is larger than all of the 5 boroughs.
Right, just about taking up the entire thing, maybe a little bit of the Bronx left over, but just going to show you the incredible size of this fire. And think, if you've ever been to New York City and what you've tried to explore just in one day, think about that, that size being burned.
Completely torched. Unbelievable. All right, well, still to come on Weather Underground. More on our top story, the threat for damaging storms in the Northeast.
We're going to show you where significant flooding is likely into the overnight hours, and Hurricane Hector making its closest approach to Hawaii. Dr. Nab is back to explain why direct landfalls in the island chain are historically rare.
And you're looking live on the east shore of the Big Island. We'll go there next.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shear she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
DiGiorno crispy pan pizza bakes fresh in its own pan and travels straight to your table.
Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to wrong houses.
DiGiorno delivers a crispy caramelized crust straight from your oven.
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
People everywhere are confusing Quilted Northern for robes. They're both cushiony, comforting, and add elegance to your home. But Quilted Northern is not a robe. It's just really nice toilet paper.
Love.
I got you, baby.
It's being there when you're needed most.
That's the one.
Love is knowing it was meant to be. And love always keeps you safe. Love is why we built a car you can trust for a long time. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru. Right now, get 0% APR financing on the 2018 Subaru Impreza.
So you have your headphones, chair, your new laptop, 24/7 tech support.
Yep, thanks guys. I think he might need some support.
Yes.
Start them off right with the school supplies they need at low prices all summer long. Like these for only $1 or less at Office Depot Office Max.
Always flavorful.
always refreshing. Always what you want it to be. Not just another beer. The champagne of beers. Welcome to the High Life.
If you live with diabetes, why fingerstick when you can scan? With the Freestyle Libre, a continuous glucose monitoring system, you can check your glucose levels anytime without fingersticks. With the Freestyle Libre system, just scan the sensor and manage your diabetes. You can do it without fingersticks. Freestyle Libre is available with a prescription at participating pharmacies. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
This is a special report for people who want the facts about reverse mortgages without the hype. You've seen a lot of commercials telling you how you can turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. But do you really know if a reverse mortgage loan can help you? Call today. For a limited time only, we'll send you a free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. Did you know that not everyone over 62 can qualify? And you can choose to receive your money monthly or in a lump sum. Call us today and get all the facts you need. You'll speak with an experienced reverse mortgage advisor who will give you honest answers to your questions and even provide a free personalized assessment. This is a big decision. Get the facts with this free special report, Reverse Mortgages, Facts Without the Hype. There's no obligation, and the call is free, so don't delay.
Call 1-800-828-2119. That's 1-800-828-2119.
Luck is no substitute for preparation.
SOS, How to Survive. Sunday nights at 8, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 93 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 67. Thursday, sunny along with a few afternoon clouds. High 95. Winds light and variable. Thursday night, partly cloudy skies. Low 69. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, you have to come to your screen right now. You have to check this out. Passengers on a train in the Philippines had to use umbrellas to shelter themselves from the rain that was falling inside the train, not just outside, but inside as well. The Philippines has been experiencing periods of heavy rain since the start of the country's rainy season, which actually began all the way back on June 8th. But how crazy is that? You're sitting on the train with umbrellas and rain gear.
I was once on an airplane and something was leaking above me too. All right, let's take a live look at Hawaii. You're looking at Pahoa right now, Kahina Beach to be exact. Dr. Nab, looks like a less than ideal day, to be walking along that shoreline, although it looks a little rocky, but we can see some of the bigger waves, obviously the gray skies. This is Hector makes its closest approach.
Yeah, it's producing surf on the southeast shores of the Big Island of 12 to 15 feet. So it's a dangerous time right there on the shore, but it's nowhere near as dangerous as this whole situation could have been if Hector had been farther north, a little larger. But we're still going to see some effects. It's a Category 3 moving to the west, going to pass a couple hundred miles south of the Big Island. The center will, but it is still going to be felt, especially on the Big Island. If we look at the visible imagery, wow, that's an impressive hurricane, no doubt about it. The Air Force has been out there today confirming that it's still a major hurricane. But what's going on in the Big Island is on the northeast part of the circulation. It's just pushing the ocean into the southeast facing shores. That's where the 12 to 15 foot surf could occur. And the winds could be pretty strong around the south end of the Big Island because of the difference in the pressure and also the winds being funneled around the high mountains of Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa, where there are wind advisories in effect. Those mountains are 14,000 feet tall just about. And at that altitude, you're going to have the difference in pressure without any obstruction upwind. So it's windy up there, and it's also going to be windy on the island of Lanai because of the funneling between Molokai and Maui. So there's going to be some strong winds on Lanai City in the middle of that island. Otherwise, the rest of the islands aren't going to feel a whole lot from this. And this is a good depiction of how the terrain is playing around with the wind field. It's strong winds around the south side of the Big Island. This area of winds, maybe tropical storm force, wouldn't be happening if the Big Island wasn't so big and tall. And you have the channel between Maui and Big Island, Ala Nui Haha Channel. The winds are being funneled through there. So it's basically a usual easterly trade wind day, but on a little bit of...
On steroids.
Yes, that's the way to put it.
There we go. Dr. Knapp, when we look back in history of Hawaii and the tracks, a lot of people, I think Hawaii must get hit all the time, right? They're out there in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, you'd think, gosh, the hurricane's coming this close. Wow, maybe Hawaii gets hit a lot, and you'd think that would be the case, but it's really not. So let's do a tropical replay here and look at some of the past tracks of hurricanes coming very close to Hawaii. Now, one thing you see is a lot of similarities in these tracks to the track that Hector is taking, where it goes very straight from the East Pacific out into the West Pacific, going through the Central Pacific to the south of Hawaii because of that high pressure that is so frequently to the north of the state during the summer months, provides them their trade wind weather, but also brings the hurricanes out of the East Pacific and largely keeps them to the south. But we've had some close calls. Hiki in 1950, just to the north of the islands, and produced a lot of heavy rainfall, even though it wasn't a direct hit. Now, Nina in 1957 was one of those that came out of the south, and that's the way to threaten or impact Hawaii the worst, by having them come from the warm waters to the south. And that's what Eva did in November, around Thanksgiving time of 1982, an El Nino year, when it came up from the southwest and struck the Hawaiian Islands in late November. And then Iniki, another year that was influenced by El Nino, that came up from the south. You got to hit Hawaii from the south if you're going to have a really, really substantial strike, because if you come in from the east, the waters are too cool, and if you go too far south, then you miss altogether. It's just an unusual set of occurrences that get a hurricane to turn at just the wrong time.
So in a lot of the terrain and the exact placement of Hawaii has a lot to do with where these hurricanes end up going, a lot of times around the islands.
Yeah, and Hawaii lies along the sea surface temperature gradient, cool waters to the north, warmer waters to the south, and Hector's been kind of going along that gradient, but it stayed far south enough to tap into those warm waters, but again, far south enough not to hit the islands. And watch how it goes, continuing off generally to the west, high pressure to the north, dominating Hawaiian weather, gives them the easterly trades, and it keeps this hurricane far away. And here's the track forecast, and you see, look at that, Chris, how the Hawaiian Islands sit right there on the border. So if Hector had been farther north, that would have been a direct hit, but probably from a weaker system, because it would have spent more time over the cooler waters. So this is going off to the West Pacific. And
likely become a typhoon.
Yeah, it crosses the date line here, then it's Typhoon
Which
Hector.
would happen around Monday or so.
Yeah, but it'll keep the name Hector.
All right, Alex, interesting stuff there out of Hawaii.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that it keeps its name. It goes, it's kind of like Prince and the artist formerly known as Prince. Think about it that way. And much more to come on tonight's show when we return. You know that feeling when something is coming, but you're not sure what? Find out why also eyes were focused on this mountain sign, and then see the aftermath.
My father passed his truck down to me. That's the same thing I want to do with you.
It's an emotional thing to watch your child grow up, and especially get behind the wheel.
I want to keep, stacking up the memories and the miles and the years.
He's going to get mine, but I'm going to get a new one.
When it's time for your old Chevy truck to become their new Chevy truck, there's Truck Month. Get 10 or 14% below MSRP on 2018 Silverado pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, during Truck Month, make no monthly payments for 90 days. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Brand new day is at my feet, and I'm singing low, and sweet.
Introducing a beer inspired by nature, made with organic grains and sourced from the finest farms. This is Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, a beer like no other, with a pure, refreshing taste.
No. Cancel, please.
Being in the know is a good thing. That's why Discover will alert you if your social security number is found on any one of thousands of risky sites.
The fact is, there are over 9,600 roads named Park in the U.S. It's America's most popular street name. But all state agents know that's where the similarity stops. If you're on Park Street in Reno, Nevada, the high winds of the Washoe Zephyr could damage your sighting. And that's very different than living on Park Avenue in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where ice dams could cause water damage. But no matter what park you live on, one of 10,000 local Allstate agents knows yours. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
So it was last Sunday. I was watching the game, painting Gracie's nails, you know, team colors. And I was like, Gracie Jane, we need to turn this footballing up a skosh. And that is when that dish listening guy just popped in. He said he was listening to what I was saying. I loved it, right?
Red Zone.
He says, get Dish for extra action through NFL Red Zone. And I said, we like extra. We're all about extra. Right, Gracie Jane?
Get extra action with NFL Red Zone from NFL Network at no extra charge. Dish, tuned into you.
It's where a cowgirl can meet 480 horses. Where a Labradoodle owner can meet their next hybrid. Where the crew can meet its third row. And where a soccer mom can meet her MVP. Yeah. Over 500 million connections made. Find the car you'll love. We met on cars.com.
Get everything for back to school with Target School List Assist. Just find your school, find your grade, order your list, and pick it up at Target the same day. Back to school, one and done.
All right, now on Weather Underground, increasing concern tonight across the Interstate 95 corridor. We're going to show you where the threat of damaging storms with lightning, heavy rain is increasing, and who also could get in on dangerous flash flooding. We'll break down your city by city timing and show you where travel impacts are continuing to add up.
And powerful Hurricane Hector makes its closest approach to the big island of Hawaii, staying well south of the island chain right now. But find out what is increasing the wind threat, even with the storm's tropical storm force winds more than hundreds of miles offshore.
Plus, the latest from California, where destructive wildfires, including the largest ever in state history, continue to rage across the state. We're going to go live to one community on edge as flames and smoke spread dangerously close to homes.
And this incredible video has us asking, wait, what? Yeah, we'll explain what's actually causing this torrent of mud and rocks to erupt into a neighborhood. It's all next right now on Weather Underground.
Welcome into Weather Underground on this Wednesday. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Chris Bruin in for Mike Bettis. We're starting out here in the cave now that we're in the last 2 hours of the show. So maybe you're coming home from work or maybe you're at the airport. You're kind of stuck because of storms.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy a nice show for us.
Yeah, have one for us, right? It might be a little bit of a wait. We're going to get back to those airport delays in a moment, but want to start with breaking news out of California. A man is in custody in connection with a 4,000-acre wildfire in California. 51-year-old Forrest Gordon Clark is facing 1 count of aggravated arson, 1 count of criminal threat. These charges could carry a life sentence. The holy fire began on Monday, is now burning 4,100 acres in the Cleveland National Forest. And the big news maker, though, continues to be the stormy day across much of the Northeast. Places like New York City, D.C., Pittsburgh, Syracuse, all in line for severe storms. Rain, wind, lots of lightning, and heavy rain to boot. Let's walk you through where the warnings are and where the rain and thunderstorms are going to be slowing down your drive this evening. Boston area, that's a spot we've been watching. You've seen some showers and thunderstorms around. All the warnings, though, located across portions of Virginia and North Carolina at this point. Going to get you down into Virginia. This is Lunenburg and Mecklenburg counties here. So we're talking about areas to the west of Interstate 85, Kenbridge, Rehoboth, and Victoria in the path of this one. This will eventually be working towards areas just to the north of South Hill. We're going to rule out some small hail out of this one. Gusty winds going to be the big issue along with the very heavy rainfall. Now, we've also been watching the Raleigh-Durham corridor here. Raleigh here, Durham up to the northwest, Chatham, Durham, and Orange County under the severe warning because of the potential for the gusty winds. But we have seen a ton of lightning and very, very heavy rainfall. So I want to watch this area closely for the potential that we could see some water issues. I know we're dealing with traffic issues. That Raleigh to Durham corridor is always slow, even on a good day. So you add rain and thunderstorms into the mix and you know it's going to be problematic for your late day drive. Here in Forsyth County, we've got storms approaching Winston-Salem. I'd say in the next 15 to 30 minutes, things would really get active in your area. You've got the lightning just off to your west, Clemens, Kernersville, and Winston-Salem under that warning. Now areas to the west of or east of Hickory, including Charlotte, North Carolina, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. We again are anticipating trouble at a lot of airports, and CLT going to be one of the spots seeing the delays add up now. Those storms ride right up the 77 corridor. So if you're traveling through that route, expect some major slowdowns with that heavy rain around Davidson College. Usually a slowdown there. Things are going to be problematic this evening. Chris?
All right, Alex. Well, it's one of the worst parts of traveling. Those are the delays. And yesterday's stormy weather across the U.S. caused a lot of them. In fact, there were over 7,000 flights delayed. Many of those, by the way, in the New York City metro area. At Newark Liberty Airport, blinding rain and wind delaying planes for hours. Thunderstorms last night caused delays of up to 2 hours. The airport has already seen more delays today. So let's get a look, update you on where we're seeing the issues at the airports right now. Most of the D.C. airports under some sort of delay. 30 minutes at Dulles, much more towards Ronald Reagan National Airport, and then BWI reporting about an hour or so. Zooming in on Ronald Reagan, we have delays near 2 hours here, about over 109 minutes. With the weather still not too bad yet. However, the planes are rerouting because of the storms moving in from the west. Nice little shower trying to work into Philadelphia, weakening as it does so. Heavier downpours further west, but still causing issues at the airport. And Newark seeing about 45-minute delays. Clouds working through, some gusty winds. Winds are also another factor when they come in a different direction to the runways. They have issues with that and limiting planes on certain runways. And LaGuardia, we're seeing delays as well, about 45 minutes so far. Notice we don't have much in the way of thunderstorm activity. However, that'll be changing. Boston, we've seen a lot of the storms. We've had ground stops earlier, 30-minute delays right now. All right, so next time you're stuck in a delay, maybe that'll be today, maybe it'll be in the future. And keep in mind that the planes are doing it for your safety. The captains can't fly through storms. Why? Well, there's a lot of hazards they have to contend with. First off, think about the elevation that a plane is flying, the altitude, up about 32,000 feet. Well, if you think that's higher than thunderstorms, think again. Storms can top over 50,000 feet. And in those storm clouds, you have strong updrafts, you have those downdrafts that push through, and those are vertical winds. So if you're talk about turbulence, I mean, that can knock over a plane easily when you're dealing with winds like that. And on top of that, you have hail and rain and ice, all going to be factors for the plane to fly in. This is why they just stay grounded and wait till the storm passes, because icing on the wing and on the plane can certainly cause issues for the flyers. So this next time you're at the airport and you're delayed, be thankful, because you don't want to be driving or flying through anything like this. Alex.
All right, I want to show you this really cool time lapse of storm clouds rolling over New York City. Likely looking at the underside of that shelf cloud. So the shelf cloud, that initial push moved overhead, and now you've got the undulating clouds. And when you put it in a time lapse, it's always incredible. Hey, we could see more incredible views. Storms moving through parts of the Northeast again tonight. I want to walk you through the timing so you know what and when to expect these storms. Heavy rain, a good bet out of any of the storms. Frequent lightning as well, but those that reach strong or severe criteria could be bringing you some gusty winds along with the potential for hail, but I really think wind the big threat today. We get you through the late evening and we'll still be watching for storms, but once we lose that daytime heating, a lot of the storms will be fizzling out. So there'll be a weakening, and eventually by tomorrow morning, looking at a much different morning drive than what you were up against this afternoon. So again, it's the morning drives that have been much easier than the late day commutes, and things at the airport should be fine tomorrow morning. Today, though, that severe risk goes from New Hampshire, Maine state line all the way back into the upstate of South Carolina and northeast Georgia.
All right, did you listen to that? Those were the storms that pushed through Oklahoma yesterday. You can see the cars driving through the wind and rain during the evening commute here in Tulsa. And looks like we could be dealing again with heavy downpours, strong storms, and yeah, more lightning just like that. Maybe a little further south. Take a look where we have that risk for storms that stretches here in just south of the Red River Valley. This does include the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area back towards Midland and central Texas, as well as portions into Arkansas. We're already seeing those storms into Little Rock. Also the monsoon season kicking off some afternoon storms into New Mexico. That's where we're seeing a lot of the severe thunderstorm activity right now, plus that big cluster of storms into Arkansas and also around the Ozarks. Let's go a little closer here to Little Rock, where we have a flash flood warning to the west of the city, but also this newly issued severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Cleveland, Dallas, and Grant counties until 5:30 p.m. Notice that storm really pushing through. Certainly could have some rotation with this, maybe some funnel clouds, not out of the question, and certainly gusty winds, but torrential downpour is really going to be the big factor. Storms pushing right into Little Rock right now. These ones have had the history of producing flooding. A radar estimated rainfall rates over 1 inch to 2 inches per hour, and this has been pushing through the last few hours. So you can imagine what they're dealing with. And you're looking live at Little Rock right now. Certainly a slow go on the traffic, especially on the routes going back out of the city to people's homes in the suburbs. And again, you're dealing with a lot of rain. So this is going to be an area we really have to watch out for, not only flooding, but also strong storms. I-30 between Texarkana and Little Rock, even over into Memphis, is going to be a bit dicey at times. A lot of lightning, by the way, with these. And here's the other severe thunderstorm warning for portions of southern Missouri. This is just west of Branson in the Ozarks. And again, heavy storms pushing through lakes and rivers. You want to get off of those. This is not the time to be outside hiking here and some of the mountainous terrains, some of the awesome trails that we have in northern Arkansas. Not the time to do it. Definitely get indoors. And again, a shelter without any exterior walls is not a safe spot. You want to be inside interior walls. And then that newly issued severe thunderstorm warning, this one just a little further north and east of Branson in southern Missouri for Ava. Douglas, Wright counties until about 5:45 p.m. local time. This storm is not really moving a whole lot, so expect some very heavy rainfall rates, and that could also produce some flash flooding, so something to be on the lookout for. And again, if we go a little bit off towards the west, we'll cover some of these severe thunderstorm warnings in the panhandle of Oklahoma. These look like supercells, and with this, we're going to have the threat for hail, large hail, especially here into portions of southern Colorado, getting into extreme western Arkansas here in the panhandle. That's where we have severe thunderstorm warnings. This is for Boise and Keys. If you live there, you need to head indoors immediately, 5:45 p.m. And then the one just off to the west with this cell that's moving very quickly, but you can see the supercell. Very interesting formation here on the border of New Mexico, Colorado, and also here into extreme western Oklahoma. That one will go out until about 5:45 p.m. as well. So as we put our future radar into mode, we're going to still see these storms firing up across the San Diego Cristos, also further south of Albuquerque. Pretty quiet in Lubbock and Amarillo. However, those storms firing up around Dallas maybe get fired up after the sun goes down tonight and well into the overnight hours, even lingering into early tomorrow morning. Alex?
I want to get the very latest on the flood threat across the country today and then also tomorrow. Dr. Rick Knabb is monitoring that danger from the lab.
Yeah, and Alex, it's going to last the rest of the week as that frontal system makes its way farther and farther south and even getting into the southwestern U.S. and increasing flood threat as the week goes on. Here are the areas of concern tonight into tomorrow morning, including New York State, Arkansas, and I would even expand that area of North Carolina, increasing flood threat in central North Carolina. I'll show you why in just a moment. There's even, for the Northeast, a flash flood watch here in many portions of New York, including Binghamton and Syracuse. And you've got a lot of training thunderstorms as a low pressure area along that front moves its way out of the Great Lakes and into New York State tonight. Did have an earlier flash flood warning south of Albany, but we have a number of flood advisories in the southern part of central and western New York. And also that threat is increasing in Pennsylvania. Look at that line southeast of Pittsburgh. So a lot of places could get flash flooding at any time tonight in Pennsylvania and New York. West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, and even into North Carolina, a lot of heavy thunderstorms. And look at North Carolina, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, but we also have a flash flood warning. This is just north of Winston-Salem in Stokes and Surrey County. There's been like a couple of inches already just south of Pilot Mountain. And even though these storms are kind of moving along to limit the duration of the rainfall, it rained so heavily there last night that it doesn't take much more rain to cause flash flooding. So it's expected to occur here in Stokes and Surrey counties tonight during this warning time frame till 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. And there could be more rain on the way after that. Now into Arkansas, in the Little Rock area and south of there. Look at those nasty thunderstorms. So much lightning, but also so much rain falling. Flash flood warning in effect in Faulkner and Pulaski counties until 6:15 local time. The rain has let up a little bit. The lightning has mostly moved off to the east, although not completely, and more heavy rain moving in from the west. Tomorrow night into Friday morning, that area of heavy rainfall remains in Arkansas, but also includes a lot of North Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area, extends into the southwest, including Tucson. That continues Friday into Saturday morning, and much of New Mexico and Texas, and even parts of the southeast will maintain a flood threat. So that moisture from the tropics meeting up against this frontal system, Chris and Alex, it means flooding trouble for many folks this week.
All right, Dr. Knapp, thank you. Want to take you to the northern plains, Duluth, Minnesota, Marquette, Michigan, 2 locations that will also be watching for severe thunderstorms. So the upper Midwest going to get in on some of that severe action. Let's talk first about the zone to watch. Well, the entire just about UP of Michigan. We've got the Arrowhead of Minnesota and then the northern sections of the state of Wisconsin. This area in the red, that's where we've got the best chance for the strong or severe storms during the day today. And that's where we've seen some of those thunderstorms fire. You notice up in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, out to the north of Duluth, thunderstorms developing and they're popping quickly. So we've seen these really strengthen. Take a look at all the lightning strikes out of 2 of those storms. And it's going to move out over the lake, but then we'll be watching areas farther downstream, so to the south and east. Out over areas north of Marquette, that's where we've got some generally light to moderate rain closer to shore, but you get out over the water, and that's where we've got some really heavy downpours coming down. Future radar showing that the storms that we see across parts of Minnesota eventually work their way into northern Wisconsin, UP of Michigan as we get through the late evening and even early overnight hours. Could get into northern parts of lower Michigan during the morning of your Thursday, although they will lose a bit of their punch as we go through the mid-morning hours. Chris?
All right, Alex. Well, of course, the Weather Channel is the destination for hurricane coverage. So let's bring in Dr. Rick Knapp again. And again, some activity in the Atlantic as subtropical storm Debbie has turned into a tropical storm.
Yeah, and pretty far north, but the water's just warm enough to allow thunderstorm activity to get a little focus closer to the center. We'll get to everything going on in the eastern and central Pacific a little while. You see how busy it is with John and Christy and Hector near Hawaii. But Debbie is still hanging on. Now is a tropical storm, winds of 40 miles an hour moving northeast at 15. Here's Atlantic Canada, and it's moving off to the northeast. Now, why is it a tropical storm today after having been subtropical yesterday? Yesterday, the thunderstorms were mostly far away from the center, and today they've consolidated near the center. So even though the waters aren't especially warm enough to allow the thunderstorms to congeal near the center, nevertheless, it's headed toward very cold water, and it is not going to last very long, and it's not going to affect anybody on land. So this is 3 out of 4 systems in the Atlantic this year that have been subtropical at least part of their life, but Debbie's life is very, very short. Chris and Alex.
Thanks, Dr. Knapp. We've got much more ahead, including more with Dr. Knapp. He's back with the very latest on Hurricane Hector. This still a powerful hurricane as it makes its closest approach to the Hawaiian Islands. We're going to tell you why direct hits on Hawaii are so rare. Plus, a crazy scene in one neighborhood, mud and rocks just erupting in the streets. We'll tell you why. And more on our top story, dangerous storms and the potential for flash flooding across the Northeast tonight. We'll tell you who's at risk right now when we come back.
Allergies with sinus congestion and pressure? You won't find relief here. Go to the pharmacy counter for powerful Claritin D. While the leading allergy spray relieves 6 symptoms, Claritin D relieves 8, including sinus congestion and pressure. Claritin D relieves more.
Okay, we need to get all your school supplies today.
School, grade, done.
Done.
Hit the snooze button and get low prices on school supplies all summer long. Like these for only $1 or less at Office Depot Office Max.
Smooth, easy strokes.
When you're raising a child,
pinch.
Be soft. When you're doing it alone, be strong.
Thanks, Dad.
Life takes softness and strength, which is why we make Angel Soft with a balance of both.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
Kyle, I got you.
Okay. What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Is that for us?
It sure is.
Gimme, gimme.
What about here?
Here too, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
He said yes. Huzzah! Let's battle.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Coors Light has a lighter, crisper taste. So you're ready for what's next. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
The Lexus Performance line is tested the equivalent of up to 24 laps around the world. Experience an unrivaled feel for any road at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
You can drink, eat well, and exercise, but to look completely healthy, you need healthy skin. Cetaphil Water-Like Moisturizers immediately rehydrate skin for continuous hydration, day and night. Complete your healthy routine with Cetaphil.
At Safe Light Auto Glass, we really pride ourselves on making it easy for you to get your windshield fixed.
Let's turn in your science papers.
This teacher always puts her students first.
I did mine over. You did? Oh, I can't wait to read it.
So when she had auto glass damage, she chose Safe Light. With Safe Light, she could see exactly when we'd be there.
You must be Pascal.
Yes, ma'am. Saving her time. So she can save the science project.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive, but then I went to GoodRx.com.
It just works. You put in the drug you're looking for, and bang, you've got half a dozen or more choices in front of you of pricing and locations to get it.
You never think about shopping around for medication prices.
I have good insurance, but with GoodRx, I save even more money.
What? I was paying how much?
And it's absolutely free. No cost to me whatsoever. I get to save $1,180 a year with GoodRx. This is awesome.
Go to GoodRx.com and check it out.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-300-7112 or go to Mesobook.com.
Luck is no substitute for preparation.
SOS, How to Survive. Sunday nights at 8, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 93 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 68. Thursday, mostly sunny skies. High 96. Winds light and variable. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 69. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I want to take you live to New York City this evening. Not looking bad right now, but showers, thunderstorms around off to your north and east. We've got a warning in parts of Connecticut. Get through the active warnings. By the way, we've got plenty of delays at the airports. Even if a thunderstorm not moving through New York, storms in the area slow things down. So let's get you a latest update on where the active warnings are. This storm here in Connecticut, areas to the north of Bridgeport, north and west right now the storm, but this is moving northeast and it's not moving super quickly. We're talking 10-mile-an-hour motion. Fairfield, New Haven and Westchester counties under this warning. Hail, but damaging winds, the main threat out of this storm. So we're talking 60+ mile-per-hour gusts possible here. New York City area, we've seen a few showers on the south side of town over parts of New Jersey as well, but nothing severe and nothing bringing a lot of lightning. Very heavy rain across parts of southwest PA, and we've got a few warned storms here into the state of Virginia. This one for Lunenburg and Mecklenburg counties. South Hill up towards areas just east of Rehoboth. You can see that expanse of very heavy rain. Anything in the red, that's where the rain's going to be just coming down in buckets, leaving you soaked. So if you're going to make a trip to the grocery store, maybe wait a few minutes. Let this storm pass because you don't want to get soaked on your walk into the grocery store. And by the way, with all the lightning out there, you don't want to be walking around anyway. This storm moving from Durham towards Raleigh, only moving about 15 miles an hour. So again, slow movement, Lots of rain means that we could be looking at some water issues. Still dealing with that severe warning there. And Charlotte under a severe thunderstorm warning now. Cabarrus, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties until 6:45 local time. So we've got the entire metro under that warning. Things are going to be a problem getting out of Charlotte's airport, and things are a problem getting out of any of the Northeast airports, Boston all the way down towards the D.C. area airports. Everybody in moderate to major delays, Chris.
All right, well, breaking news coming out of Virginia. A 17-month-old baby is dead after being left in a hot car. According to police, the boy's father left him in the car after forgetting to drop him off at daycare. The Richmond metro area was under a heat advisory at the time, and officials are still investigating. Now that total is up to 31 deaths so far this year. Tragic news. We're hoping no more happens, but again, it's something you have to be mindful of, not just when the temperatures are 90s or more, but even in the 70s and 80s when it's not all that hot, the interior temperature can certainly be very hot. Excessive heats here, especially around portions of the Tidewater, that is where we are seeing those heat advisories. It does include the Richmond metro area as well as Virginia Beach, Norfolk, as well as Elizabeth City here into northern and eastern North Carolina. Temperatures are cooler where that front has pushed through, but still south of it, it is muggy. Dew points are in the mid to upper 70s here in Boston. It's just about as oppressive as it gets into the summertime, making it feel more like the 80s to 90s. Almost 100 degrees is what it feels like outside right now in D.C., Alex.
I want to take you to Hawaii right now. You're probably dreaming of a tropical location, maybe some refreshing breezes, right? Getting more than that, though, across Hawaiian Islands today. That as Hector moves by. And the Weather Channel, of course, the destination for hurricane coverage. Our hurricane expert, Dr. Knabb, has been watching Hector throughout the week. And Dr. Knabb, this is going to really enhance some of those winds along the islands.
Yeah, especially the Big Island. I don't think folks up in Honolulu are going to notice a tremendous difference in the weather. You know, it's just a slightly amped up trade wind, calm day in terms of rainfall activity, but on the Big Island it's not as calm in the winds and the surf and a little bit of rain. The tropics are busy, especially east and central Pacific. We still have Debbie in the Atlantic. I'll focus on the Pacific here. Hector is still a Cat 3 hurricane. It is currently passing as close to the Big Island as it is going to get. As the visible imagery shows, the core of the hurricane safely off to the south. And if you measure from the south point of the Big Island to the eye of the hurricane, about 155 miles. So because the winds of tropical storm force only go about 90 to 100 miles north of the center, you know, the tropical storm force winds that are directly associated with the circulation of the hurricane not affecting the Big Island. However, you are getting some enhancement of the winds around the Big Island on both sides, and you can get, at least in gusts, winds of tropical storm force. And then up on the Big Island summits, they're going to have wind advisories in effect. We're getting some locally heavy showers near Leilani Estates, not all that far from Kilauea. But for the most part, this is not a tremendous impact for the Big Island. And as the hurricane moves farther westward, it will get into warmer waters, and it could make it all the way past the date line as a pretty significant hurricane this weekend. Then farther east in the Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Christy and Hurricane John, which is close to Cabo San Lucas, but not making a direct hit either. In the periphery, you're getting some dangerous surf conditions, some gusty winds out of the south and southeast, but the hurricane is headed toward cooler waters. Right now, max winds at 85 miles an hour, but that will be on the downturn. But one thing that John will do as it makes its way farther north is bring some swells and some elevated surf to Southern California, and also maybe a little bit of extra moisture to the desert southwest. Chris, Alex?
All right, well, coming up on Weather Underground, more on our top story, the threat for damaging storms and heavy rain across the Northeast. We're going to show you where significant impacts to travel is happening right now. Plus, an eerie scene in California as raging wildfires pour smoke and ash into neighborhoods. We'll take you there live when we come back.
My father passed his truck down to me. That's the same thing I want to do with you.
It's an emotional thing to watch a child grow up, and especially get behind the wheel.
I want to keep, stacking up the memories and the miles and the years.
He's going to get mine, but I'm going to get a new one.
When it's time for your old Chevy truck to become their new Chevy truck, there's Truck Month. Get 10 or 14% below MSRP on 2018 Silverado pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, during truck month, make no monthly payments for 90 days. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
If your pet has fleas, you have fleas. Help protect your pet, home, and yard from infesting fleas with the Advantage Flea Action Plan.
Fact is, there are over 9,600 roads named Park in the U.S. It's America's most popular street name, no matter what park you live on. One of 10,000 local Allstate agents knows yours. And now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
When you carry out large 3-topping pizzas from Domino's for $7.99 each, you don't want bad roads ruining your good pizza. So we're doing something about them. If your drive home is rough on pizza, submit it at havingforpizza.com and we might fix it.
No. Cancel, please.
Being in the know is a good thing. That's why Discover will alert you if your social security number is found on any one of thousands of risky sites.
How do you know you made the right call? You just do. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier.
I'm so frustrated. I just want to find a used car without getting ripped off.
You could start your search at the all-new Carfax.com.
That might help. Show me the Carfax.
Now the car you want and the history you need are easy to find.
Show me used trucks with great deals.
Pretty cool.
Show me the Carfax.
Start your used car search and get free Carfax reports at the all-new Carfax.com.
I'm Johnny Bench. You know, some days you wake up feeling like you've been hit by a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's why I use Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Cream. Blue Emu's Maximum Arthritis is a proud partner of the Arthritis Foundation. With its non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula, it gets down deep into those joints for big-time pain relief without any of that funky smell. Let's get it. Big-time pain relief. Blue Emu. It works fast, and you won't stink.
I thought I married an Italian.
My lineage was the Vecchios and Zuccolis. Through Ancestry to the DNA, I found out that I was only 16% Italian.
He was 34% Eastern European. So I went on to Ancestry, soon learned that one of our ancestors we thought was Italian was Eastern European.
This is my ancestor I didn't know about. He looks a little bit like me, yes.
Ancestry has many paths to discovering your story. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
Closed captioning brought to you by Frog Tape brand painter's tape. Keeps paint out, keeps lines sharp.
Frog Tape is the only painter's tape treated with patented paint block technology. Get professional results with Frog Tape for sharp lines every time. Frog it.
What are we watching? You have to come to your screen. You have to check this out. Look at it. It looks like a mud volcano. You ever see those mud pots? It's like they just kind of like.
So you're looking at this at home and you're going, what is going on?
And
this
where?
Right. Well, one, this is Switzerland. And what's actually happening is we're getting a view of a debris flow. From this angle, you can see the debris coming down the mountain as it's barreled into the bridge. That's when the mud splatters everywhere. So here's that angle that actually shows that mud and debris heading down the slope. It gets to the bridge, it hits it, and it goes everywhere.
And look at how fast it's moving. Wow, look at that. I mean, that's going at a you're not outrunning that.
Right.
I mean, you can imagine.
These
and it's more
mudslides,
mud than water.
debris flows, they're all dangerous. Yeah, and carrying a lot in that water. Hey, welcome back into Weather Underground on this Wednesday. 30 past the hour. Want to get you your top weather stories right now, including the Northeast storm slowing everybody down.
Yeah, you know, it's been one of those weeks. In fact, across the Northeast, people are bracing for more scenes like this, where we had flooded roads in Queens after a brief storm yesterday. Today, we're anticipating another round of severe weather. And Alex has a look at where we're dealing with a lot of severe storms a little further south.